Okay, so we're going to talk about the variance and the standard deviation. I'm using number 11 on page 717 because it's the least amount of data. You already have the mean because you did that part. Okay, so let's talk about what the variance is again. The variance, it sounds tricky, but it's the sum of the difference of each piece of data to the mean, square each of those pieces, and then divide that by the number of pieces of data. Okay? So the variance, if I write this, I write this as the first piece of data minus the mean squared plus the second piece of data minus the mean squared, dot, 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 all the way up to where I'm done, over n, which means the number of pieces of data. So if I do this math, let's do it. So the variance equals 34 minus 57 squared plus 42 minus 57 squared. So it might be a good idea for you to pause right now and try to do this part on your own and then come back to the work. 70 minus 57 squared plus 73 minus 57 squared. So now you kind of know why I'm telling you that I'm not going to really ask you to do this by hand too often, because it's just a lot of work and it's kind of silly, but I want you to just kind of practice it because it's important to know where these numbers are actually coming from. Okay? So I divide that by my 6 pieces of data. So when I do this, I get negative 23 squared, but like Mike said, it doesn't really matter if it's negative because we're squaring it, plus negative 15 squared, plus negative 13 squared, plus 13 squared, plus 16 squared, plus 22 squared. So if I do all this math, and again, I'm going to divide that by 6. So if I do all this math, I get 529 plus 225 plus 169 twice, because we know all of our squares, plus 256 plus 484. And I put that all over 6. Okay, and of course you can put this all in your calculator. You don't actually have to write all this out. Alright, so when all is said and done, my variance is going to be 1832 divided by 6, which comes out to be 305.3 repeating. Now this repeating is really important. I want you to always put that into your calculator or hold on to this in your calculator. In order to find the standard deviation, there's the symbol, it's the lowercase sigma symbol in Greek, and it's the standard deviation is the square root of the variance. So once I've found the variance, the standard deviation is a piece of cake. I put that into my calculator, the square root of this 0.33333, or just put the square root of this entire fraction to get the most accurate, and we come out to be 17.473, so we can write 17.47 to the nearest hundredth. And so that's our standard deviation. Now what does that actually mean? We're going to talk more about that in detail tomorrow in class, but this number is our standard deviation, so I want you to really think about that. So we have 2 numbers. We have the variance and we have the standard deviation. I'm going to show you how to do this on your calculator in the second video if you'd like to take a look.